What's up, guys? We're gonna roll beats. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make some dark orchestral type melodies. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned post notifications on, you should do so because those have it a lot. So let's hop right into it. So 164 on BPM. This doesn't matter too much, and I'll go through the sound selection as we go through. But I labeled the sound so you know what type of sound to pick, because obviously we don't have the same VSTs. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick a scale. I'm gonna just do like a minor. Let's do a B minor, and let's go ahead and get started with our first chords. All right, so first up we have our strings in spiccato mode, Spitfire symphonic strings. This is what they sound like. So anything similar to that should work. So I'm going to be showing you guys a trick you can use to get these dark melodies every time instead of just guessing and everything. All right, so start on your root, and instead of making this your first chord, you want to go backwards. So we can build this chord backwards. And then what we want to do is pretty much delete the middle one and pull this up an octave. Okay. And then we can actually keep this one just for some darker notes. All right. And this is going to be the beginning of our chords. So we can copy this over. And then now we can go ahead and start making our melody up top. All right. So what you can do here is copy this, and the reason why we did this is so that you can have a range for your melody, which I'll explain right now. So we can copy this and pull this up an octave, and now we have a range for our melody. So we can go from here to here, so we can literally go up and then land back at this note if you want it to sound good. All right, so I'm gonna show you what I mean. And I'm gonna just leave this maybe like right here. So basically we could do whatever we want, right? We could do whatever we want. We just gotta touch these notes, and you don't have to actually go this far. I'm gonna just do it just for demonstration purposes. So we can go. And we can just copy that simple melody. This is the most basic stuff ever. We can copy this. Let's turn the velocity down. All right, and then we can copy this over and just shift down 5. And this is why we went backwards with our chords, so everything will be similar. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, because if we went up, it would be too much of a jump, which you still can do, but. Right, it's not that big of a jump, right? So that is how you make these dark chords and everything. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next instrument. All right, so now we're just gonna do filler, and basically that's just layering. I call it filler just because like that's pretty much what it is. You're just adding sounds in to support the first one, right? So this is the sound I'm using, and this is just a pad. I just happen to use this one. It doesn't really matter what pad you use, just any pad that you like personally. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this here and just take the chords from it, because I don't want the melodies to be doing too much, right? And I think I might just stretch these out a bit. Let's see what this sounds like. Right, you can see that adds a lot of like weight to the melody now. So let's do the dark piano just to add like a little melody to it. So this is what I'm using right here. It doesn't really matter. Just happen to use that one. And what did I do? I think I just added reverb. I think it was like right here first, but I just added some reverb. In this one, again, we don't need to make an actual melody. At the end, the melody will come together once we add little sound by little sound. So what I'm gonna do is just stay on track, and let's look back here. So we can use this E to start, and then we can maybe add some notes in between. Let's maybe shrink these down. And then maybe we can go up. All right, so I was just adjusting the velocity so that it wasn't too loud. I just kind of want it to be in the background. So that is the filler, and that's all you really need to do. With this, you can literally follow the chords you have, right? You can do your +1, basically just going up 1 or 2, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty simple. So let's move on to our next instrument. So now we have a bass to start with. So we have our chords and we have like a little melody going on. So now what we could do is start to make it a little bit more unique by adding an actual like little melody to it, or like some accents and stuff. So I'm using this viola, still Spitfire symphony strings, spiccato. And I used a violin up here and a viola down here because they have slightly different timbres. So when I mix it, it won't be that difficult to mix it, if that makes sense. So let's go in here. And we can just start on that E. I'm gonna make this real loud. And then I just kind of want to place it. I don't want to overdo it. Matter of fact, let's make this easy. I'm gonna pull this up an octave. I'm just listening to what I want. Then maybe we could do something like this and use that B, because the B is a part of our chords, so it should sound good. All right, so let's move on to the second part, and now I'm gonna start on B, like right here. Because remember, I guess we could just copy this. I don't know if that'll work. If we just copy this and move down 5 to the B, it should work. Let's see. And I want this to hit the E, so it's a good loop. Let's see. All right, so now it's a perfect loop. So there's a viola, and let's move on to our next one, which is a flute. All right, next up we have Ethno World, which is our just woodwind or flute. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you something real simple. So with our chords, all we need to do is take our lead tone. So that could just be the highest note, right, at the top of your chord. So we could take this and then take this, right? And this is gonna give us our blueprint to make a good melody every time, right? As long as those chords are nice together, this should work. So I'm gonna show you how to, or just 4 different ways you can kind of make a melody out of this. And of course, rhythm and stuff plays a part, but this is just the basics. So pretty much you have 4 ways you can get to this note, right? So you can go up into the note, make this a little smaller, right? You can build up into it, or you can build down into it, right? Or you could flip it, right? Where you start here and then you go branch off to another note, same way here. In this case, we would land on our B, so that would be in harmony. All right. So I'm gonna use these and I'm gonna show you what I mean. So let's zoom in, and I'm just start here. Let's see. Let's go up an octave though. Let's make these a little shorter. I think that's good. I might adjust those later, but let's copy it over and let's just go up 1 and see what that sounds like. I think the G might sound better. We'll see. Okay, I think that's good. So now what we need to do, copy it over and pull it down until it hits, well, until this E hits the B. So just pull it down 5. I could have just said that in the beginning. All right, so now we have this and we can just add more. So I'm gonna just add, let me zoom in. Y'all probably cannot see that. So you could do something like this. Okay, just to add variation so it's not so basic. Just play it. And I'm just adjust these as it plays. All right, so that's our flute, and let's move on to our bass. All right, next up we have our bass guitar, and this is pretty easy. Let's just take our bass from, well, really we could just use this. And we could spice it up, but I think this is enough, just at least for this video. So let's pull this. All right, and that's pretty much the sample. So now all we need to do is do some processing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you that. All right, real quick for the effects, I want y'all to see something with the panning. You gotta be careful with some VSTs, because like this violin VST, if you listen, it's more to the left. Right, so with my viola, which is pretty much a string as well, I panned it to the right to separate them. Right, and then with this orchestral pad, it was very like a dark sound, and it had a lot of weight to it. So what I did is pan it to the left with the strings, because the strings don't have a lot of bass in them. So now those level out, and then I just pan my dark piano to the right a little bit, and then the flute I just left. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I'm gonna turn these on. So I put these all in the bus except my bass, because I want my bass to be clean. And these are just personal presets. All I really do is just add the wobble. All this distortion and stuff, you can't really hear it. But I just do like a slight little cut, because if you want to sample it or something, you don't want too much bass. Okay, and then on these flutes and everything, same thing. I just made a custom preset here. You can take a screenshot if you really want these settings, but again, the only things that matter are the cuts and this little decay, and I'll show you what it sounds like. Right, it just has ambience now. Now we have shaper box on both of these, and this is the last thing. I have a reverse, and then I have a reverse on my flute as well. I was gonna do a halftime, but I kind of like the reverse better, but I'm gonna show you the halftime with it too. All right, but I just like the reverse better. And I thought that effect was just weird and unique, so that's why I use it. But that's it for this video. Those are the effects. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.